Right, here we have a knackered old microwave oven. Full of crap. It looks like someone's been microwaving bricks inside it, by the looks of things. But anyway, it's well knackered, been thrown out, it's been well tipped, plugs being cut off and everything, junk. So basically I'm going to pull this apart, strip as much out of it as I can, and this is going to be turned into a radar screen. So there's the microwave with all the crap stripped out of it. Cleaned it up a little bit. I've painted the back of it in grey primer. Yeah, now I've got it on my hands. The cover off the top of it, that's painted up in grey primer. And here's all the surplus electronics which I've taken out of it, together with the death ray for a future experiment, maybe, with a nice big heavy transformer for it. Yeah, high voltage microwave radiation, caution microwaves. Yeah, Toshiba. Yeah, anyway, not sure what I'll be doing with that. Some people might have some ideas. Yeah, so that's how what we're up to at the moment. So what I'm going to do, obviously taking the door off and everything, I've cleaned it up a little bit. That's where there's been some foam to stop the grease and everything getting into the circuitry. There's some foam stuck on there. Yeah, so I'm going to grind this edging off here all the way around and then reface the front off, probably with a sheet of aluminium, maybe some steel, I don't know. All depends how I feel. If I use steel I can weld straight onto it for brackets and stuff like that. So we'll see how I go. Okay, I had some scrap piece of equipment with 4 of these rotary switches on. So what I've done is I've just hacked it up and stuck it in there behind the hole where the old instruments were, you know, where the old dials and buttons were, and I've just tack welded it on all the way around, just in a few points, well, several points. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a sheet of aluminium out, which is 50 centimeters by 32 centimeters, I think, and I've got that marked out just here, and I'm going to cut that out with a jigsaw. Then once I've done that, I'll drill these holes for that, and might end up self-tapping it on or pop riveting it, don't know yet. Then I've got to work out what else I'm going to put in. I've got a monitor screen to put in, and maybe put a little milliamp meter in just to give it some effect. Maybe an extra switch or two somewhere around here. We'll see. It should look quite authentic looking, I think, when it's finished. Okay, so once I've mounted the aluminium panel on the front, I'll just put it on with a couple of pop rivets for now. 4 pop rivets to hold it while I was drilling the other holes. One's gone a little bit wild, but I might just put self-tappers in it, and you probably won't see that later on. This is the first option. It's a small CRT black and white TV set. Now it was only 20 quid, brand new, and I bought it basically to do this sort of thing with it several years ago and never got around to do it. Now the good thing is it's got a standard video in and audio in, rather than just having a composite socket, so you can connect some sort of portable DVD player onto it. I decided to spray the casing and the front panel over in Rover Tempest grey spray paint, which I just happened to have in the garage from a previous job. So this is how it's looking now. I've got these old Bakelite knobs on it, which are quite scrap, and these two chrome handles. I think they add a nice touch to it. They could have done with being a bit bigger maybe, but the thing I had just had small handles, so you know. And I've gone for the CRT screen, and what I've done is I've put a bit of green drinks bottle plastic in front of it, so just chopped up some drinks bottle, and that was the cheapest way to get some green tint. Yeah, so what I'd done in the end was I just said, well, what the hell, may as well mount the whole little mini TV set inside there. So I cut a piece of aluminium plate out, and I've angled the sides up on it and just put self tappers in on the two sides, and then the other part at the front I've bent out sideways and put two M6 bolts through. And I've also realised that back in World War II, the radar tubes which would have been installed in stuff like this would not have been rectangular, they would have been round. So in an attempt to slightly disguise the fact, I've made a bezel which is going to fit over the top of this like that, and it's going to slightly disguise the fact that I'm using a rectangular tube. So this bezel I'm going to paint up probably just in black paint and screw it on there, so I'm going to get on to that next. Now once I've done that, I've got a few other things. Obviously I've got to do the wiring for it, make sure the set works, but I also need to sort out any labelling, what I'm going to put as a name for the set and things like that. And I've got a few ideas. I think I'm going to say that the make of it is, I think it was GEMA. I think I'm presuming that's a German company that were making the radar stuff. They certainly, some of the radar units were called GEMAs. GEMA Coast Watcher is one of them. So I'm going to do that, and I also need to come up with some names and some markings to put around on these dials which will appear to look authentic. I can't find very much on the original sets in terms of the details, what would go on various dials, so I'm just making this up really, and hoping that it looks quite good at the end. Okay, I've just hooked this up to a video unit, this little portable video player here, and taken the output from it and fed it inside, so you can see it looks quite nice now with some of the stuff on it. I've also printed off this data sheet, which came out of a set of German data sheets on the web, and it's basically some instructions and so on how to use one of the Würzburg or Würzburg Apparate radar systems. So yeah, it's got various data and so on. So I'll probably keep some of this with the unit to add a little bit of detail, you know, a bit of plausibility to it all. I still need to work out some of the lettering to put on these. Now the reason, you'll see now why I've lettered this up A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, E. I don't know why they have written it that way, but when you look at this data sheet, if it gets in focus, you can see that's how they have it. In fact, if I go for a slightly enlarged version, which is here, they've got this set ran down here like that: A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, E. I don't understand why they have done it that way. Maybe someone in Germany during World War II didn't know their alphabet. I don't get it. Anyway, someone will answer my question, and it's probably damned obvious why they did it that way, but I can't see it. But basically it gives out some instructions here on what these various settings, I presume, on a switch would actually set the unit up to work as. FM, and then it's got down in German Mittlere Frequenz der Group in megahertz. Yeah. FR. Yeah, well, I can't pronounce all this German. Yeah, so interesting anyway, if you're into that. What have we got down here? Oh, I recognise that sign. That's lambda WL, so that must be wavelength lambda, I presume. Yeah, and that refers to, where is that? A WL there, that column. So wavelength 158, 162, 158, 162, 646, and so on. Anyway, I don't really need to worry about that, but I think the unit's working reasonably well now. It's doing what I need. I don't know whether it should be making a noise in particular. I've actually just got a bit of a hiss which is in there, which I can turn up and down, but I don't really think that hiss is really required, so I just turn the volume down like that. Maybe have it a slight hiss in the background. Yeah, so I'll have to work out what other lettering and names I should put on it to make it have a little bit more credence. But I'm pretty happy with how it's worked out. A few more details to put on and then it should be done.